Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going through my reasons why I don't think Pokemon Black and White Remakes will be released in 2024. This is quite an annoying video to make because I genuinely do think this. Hopefully I'm wrong, but let's get straight into it. I'm going to kick things off with probably my weakest points, so stay tuned for the better points. But the Indigo Plateau was released just last year, and that was based in Unova. I think releasing basically a DLC based in Unova and then instantly going into a Unova-based game just doesn't make as much sense because they just released some Unova content. You could look at it easily as a tease and a lead up for 2024. But I just don't think they're going to do it that way. I saw a tweet, and it's a lot of speculation saying that obviously Pokemon in Sinnoh, so you obviously had BDSP, was released, and then Legends Arceus was released then very shortly after. And basically people are saying that Indigo Plateau is Sinnoh's version, well, Unova's version, sorry, of Pokemon Legends Arceus. So one, we won't be getting a Legends Unova game, and two, probably not going to be getting any Unova content maybe until next year, I'd say. Actually, I don't even think we'll be getting it next year, and that's further on into the points about the different release years. I think we're going to be waiting a while for Unova content, especially with the fact of the further points I've got. But when it comes to the Indigo Plateau, the main reason that I don't think that they'll be releasing the game this year because of it is I just think it'll be way too soon. I understand that even in the Indigo Plateau it's based in Unova, but I haven't finished it yet. But as far as I'm aware, you don't even go into Unova, so I think they've just kind of like placed the hint being like, oh yeah, you know, Unova. So this is the reason, this is my weakest point, is this could be an exact reason of one of their, one of the teasers saying that the games could be coming out very soon. But I got a gut feeling it's not, and I feel like the Indigo Plateau is a slight reason towards it. Number two I've got is the different release years. Now, there's a pattern when it comes to when they release new Pokemon games, the remakes especially, is the fact that they're released every half a decade. So you got Fire Red and Leaf Green, which was released in 2004 to Japan, and you got Heart Gold Soul Silver, which was then released in 2009 to Japan. Further on, when it comes to Pokemon ORAS, or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, that was released in 2014 worldwide, another 5 years after that. But they did break this trend with Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl being 7 years, obviously being released in 2021, which is a bigger gap, so there's no telling that they're actually going to shorten the gap to 3 years, which would be if it was released in 2024, the Black and White remakes. I can see someone commenting, well, they took 2 extra years to release BDSP, so why not take 2 less years to release Black and White to kind of carry on the trend with a correlation of 5 years? And I just don't think that's justifiable enough. I just don't think they're going to be thinking that. I just don't see them releasing a Black and White remake very soon after releasing a the Diamond and Pearl remake. It's been far too soon, and I just don't see it happening. And look, I understand that Nintendo now have 3 different teams working on Pokemon games. You've got Pokemon Team A, Pokemon Team B, and you've got Ilka/Pokemon Wix, obviously the new company which is being based in Ilka to make sure that all Pokemon games are up to scratch, because let's be honest with each other, BDSP wins, but more on that later. So it basically means we've got 3 different teams working on different Pokemon games, and realistically Team B is the main one we all think to be working on Pokemon Legends Z to A, because you've got, I'd imagine, Team A working on Generation 10 now, Team B working on Legends, and then Team C being Ilka/Pokemon Works, probably working on a Pokemon Black and White remake, because they were the company that were given to BDSP to make. One thing you also got to remember is Ilka aren't as big of a company as the Pokemon, obviously. The Pokemon is such a massive franchise, they have the ability to have 3 different teams working on different games, whilst Ilka probably don't have that much resources, and they do make other games. So I can't imagine them putting all the energy after releasing Pokemon BDSP into making the next Pokemon games. They've got other games they need to release, so they might not even be working on it yet. The third point is that the Nintendo Switch 2 was pushed back. Now, I released this tweet basically giving my theory about the Nintendo Switch 2 being pushed back, and probably be pushing back the Pokemon Legends Z to A release date. I think Pokemon Legends Z to A was originally meant to be released in 2024, but with the Nintendo Switch 2 being pushed back to the first quarter of 2025, they obviously had to push that date back for the Pokemon Legends Z to A, because it was meant to be released on the on the Nintendo Switch 2 probably, and not intended to run on the Nintendo Switch 1, because it's going to have far greater graphics and probably be a bigger game, because obviously there's been rumours going about that it's meant to be a GTA of Pokemon. It's meant to be their game, you know, the big new Pokemon game. So I can just basically see the fact that that got pushed back, meaning that Legend Z to A got pushed back. Hence, Legend Z to A was originally meant to be a 2024 release. Our 2024 release and it got pushed back, meaning we won't be getting a game full stop in 2024. Now, is this disheartening? Yes, absolutely. I want a game this year more than anyone. Like, I did not like Scarlet and Violet. I thought Scarlet and Violet were quite bad games, honestly. And the DLCs were okay. I finished the Teal Mask, and I thought that was a solid little story. There's still bad graphical issues. You know, the frame rate drops are ridiculous, especially at that main lake. I'm getting through the Indigo Plateau at the moment, but it's a bit boring. It's a bit slow, and I've just started it, so don't take my opinion on it just yet. But they've got a lot to catching up to do, and I think they need to make a great Pokemon game soon, because Scarlet and Violet just didn't hold up to what it was meant to be, especially after the release of Pokemon Legends Arceus being such a brilliant game. My fourth point is a continuation on the last point. They wouldn't release a Pokemon game just before the release of a new console. It is idiotic. Obviously, the Nintendo Switch 2, if it's even called that, will be coming out next year now, and there is just no reason for them to release a game few months before Nintendo Switch 2 comes out. There's rumors going on that Nintendo Switch 2 will be released in March. Why would they release a game in November, which is 4 or 5 months before the new console is released? It just doesn't make sense. The game will die off very quickly, and the graphics won't be up for scratch. And with a game which is so highly anticipated, like the Black and White remakes, we don't want them just to release them willy-nilly, to shit out a really bad game, because these games, Black and White, if they have to remake Black and White 2, because they were one of the best Pokemon games ever released, obviously, and I imagine that they will learn from their mistake. Once again, we'll move on to that later on, though. They will be so brilliant if they do it well. If they do it well, it will be fantastic games. They have the potential to be brilliant games, much like BDSP did. They can't mess it up again. I feel like if they mess it up again, then Pokemon might just not use them again. So I just don't see them just releasing this game for no reason, just to get money in. It won't work. If they're gonna be releasing the game just to get money in, keep fans anticipated, release a new Let's Go game, because it's a game that if they cock up, if they mess it up, then I'd care, but who else really cares realistically? Like, it's not these games which will be potentially one of the best games ever released. It's a Let's Go game, it's a filler game. And as a big Let's Go fan, I know that Let's Go is a filler game. It's a game to keep people anticipated for the new game's release, and I think it makes so much more sense releasing a Let's Go Johto than releasing a Black and White remake, which can easily upset me way more fans. Finishing off with my final point, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were quite bad remakes. The thing is, it's very simple and a very easy answer to explain why Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were bad remakes. They recreated Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. They didn't recreate Platinum. And realistically, Platinum is just a better version of Diamond and Pearl. I've seen people say, well, why would they recreate Platinum when it's a Diamond and Pearl remake? And if you look at the older games, especially we're going to be talking about Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, they never actually recreate the original games, kind of. Heart Gold, Soul Silver recreated Crystal, because you had the Crystal timeline and it had a bunch of, and it kind of implemented the better versions of Crystal, the better adjustments to Crystal, and brought them into, obviously, Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And then it was the same for Oras, so Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire brought in the better versions of Emerald and brought them into Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because realistically, like I said, they're just better versions of the game. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire had the Delta episode, which is basically not exactly what Emerald had. Obviously, Emerald ended off with the fight scene between Kyogre and Groudon, but it was different, and it was different, but they took inspiration from it and gave it a new storyline. Critically, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shine and Pearl needed to have the Distortion world. It's so disappointing it didn't, and that is the one thing that I was looking forward to playing Brilliant Diamond, Shine and Pearl, and I didn't see any videos about it, and I was like, brilliant, we're going to go back to Distortion world, and it just never happened, and it was so disappointing. And I think that's the issue. They came out, and they never came out and said it was a they said it was a faithful remake, but we still were hoping, because it was the smarter thing to do, of recreating Platinum, and unfortunately it just didn't work. So like I said earlier, if Ilka mess this up and recreate Black and White and just kind of push out the game quick just to meet the deadline, and it goes bad, one, we probably won't get X and Y remake soon, because obviously that'd be the next game remade, and we're getting Legends Z to A, but it's not a remake. We won't be getting X and Y remakes, but we also won't be getting Sun and Moon remakes, We won't be getting Sword and Shield remakes, and then probably Scarlet and Violet remakes if they're still with Ilka, or they probably go to a different company. And at the moment, I don't want Scarlet and Violet remakes. I'm still not happy with that game. But that is the issue we've got. They need to keep these games sacred. They need to keep these games and give them the respect that they deserve. Because unfortunately, the Pokemon Company have always kind of not really taken, not accountability, but like you can tell Unova's not their favourite region, because if, for example, we're not getting a Legends game for Unova and Indigo Plateau was the equivalent of a Legends game, then they don't really care for Unova, and it's so disappointing because it is easily one of their best ever regions. So my plea to you, Pokemon Company, is don't release a Pokemon game this year, the Black and White's Pokemon game this year, because we need it to be on the Nintendo Switch too. We need it to be good, so take your time with it. Release a Let's Go game. One, because I like Let's Go, but two, it makes so much more sense if you are to release this game, a game this year, then you release a game that is just a money grab. Let's be honest, we all know it's going to be. It's going to be a money grab, but release a game that if you do mess up and it's not great, it's my plea to you. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.